going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Betting Show right here on FTN. We are for the numbers and we are for you in what is going to be a huge year for FTN in 2025. I saw a prop, been shout out. Someone had a big year in 2024. Looking to parlay that in 2025. Noops, let me ask you, man, are you a resolution guy? If so, where's the over-under on when you break it? Is it like January 13th, earlier or later? Anything you are focused on here in the new year besides getting the people the cash that they need here in the NBA?
Not to sort of get down on everybody, but my resolution every year is to just make resolutions as needed. I try not to
Okay.
arbitrarily pick a day of the year to lay them out, but it's always kind of the same stuff. Day, going to try to move more. I definitely put on a lot more weight than I planned to in 2024. We got to peel some of that off a little bit. So that's going to be the plan, and I would say maybe I'll make it till March.
All right, fair enough. Listen, I hear you, man. I got to get in good shape because I got to run around with a toddler, man, and chasing him around is a problem. And, I got to work on the back because lifting up, putting down, lifting up, putting down.
Requires elite athleticism.
Yo, absolutely. It sure does. And I know Prop is on that as well with the little one. So let's get into it right now. I'm telling you, Prop, it's only going to get crazier when because right now she can't move anywhere. Once she can actually move, it's going to be different for you, my friend. But we are here to hold you down in the NBA action. We got 8 games, I believe, on the slate tonight. Let's get it popping. Noops, I want to start with you because one of the things that happened over the holiday season is Luka Doncic went down, and he is going to be out for, it looks like, another month or so, but that is not scaring you from taking the Dallas Mavericks here in an interesting matchup in state against the Rockets.
It's one of the nice things about having Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. Not only do they pair well together, when one goes out, the other one can kind of slide into that lead role. Of course, the Mavericks are better with both, but we can kind of float through these periods and play well enough, especially against a Rockets team that is very good. It's a deep team. There's a lot of talent, but there still is not a star yet on that team. Alperen Sengun is just not taking a step forward. Jalen Green, I don't think, looks even as good as he did sort of towards the end of last year. Overall, I do. I like what Ime Udoka's doing there. They're a really tough team at home, but I just think Dallas is a better squad here, even without Luka Doncic. Now, of course, it being in Houston and all that, I do have the Rockets as small favorites here, -2.5, maybe somewhere around -3, but we're getting a chance to take +5 here. I think that if Derek Lively is out, he's questionable tonight, a very important player. Again, especially given the matchup, Sengun is a guy where you're going to want a little more athletic player like Lively as opposed to maybe Daniel Gafford. If Lively's in, I would probably have the Rockets here just barely favored at about 1. So this is going to be a great bet if Lively's in. If Lively's out, I still see a lot of value on this. It's a team, again, in Dallas that knows how to slow these games down. They're happy to play some ugly basketball like the Rockets want to play. They are not going to get upset with a slow pace, with physical defense. That's just fine with them. They're happy to do that. So everybody's basically healthy here for the Mavericks, obviously, except Luka. We'll see how it goes with Derek Lively. Again, like I said, if he's in, +5 is great. If he's out, +5 is still a very good bet. I'll take the Mavericks with the points tonight.
All right, fair enough. And listen, I'm with you as well. And you talk about how without Luka, kind of Kyrie slides over and gets a ton of that usage. Another guy who I think is really going to soak up some of that usage and has over the last 2 or 3 games, especially in the backcourt, is Spencer Dinwiddie. And I like Dinwiddie to continue doing this against the Rockets tonight. I like him going over 15.5 points. I mean, listen, on Monday against Sacramento, Dinwiddie led the team in scoring. He had 30 on the night on Monday against the Kings. He's gone over this number in his last 4. He's gone over this in 5 of his last 6 games when he plays 30 minutes. And since Luka went down on Christmas, he is averaging 31 minutes in this. He's also averaging 15 attempts from the field over his last 3. I know you talk about how Kyrie slides over. I think Dinwiddie is a big part of the plan with Luka Doncic out. You mentioned also Houston is a good defense. They do kind of like to slow it down, but they are slightly faster paced than Phoenix, faster paced than Sacramento, who are 2 of the 3 games that they have had, that Dallas has had since Luka went down. So I think there could even be some more opportunities. I think Dinwiddie kind of slides into this role and gets, active and scores for the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm taking them over 15.5 points, and you can get it at plus money. You can get it at plus money over at MGM at plus 105. I'll let you guys know there are some places where they're not going to a higher number, but over at Caesars, this same exact bet is minus 120. So the fact that I can get it at plus 105, I think is a boon, and another reason that you got to go on over to the prop shop. The prop shop is an incredible tool over at FTN. It really shows you kind of what all the books are saying, what all the numbers are there. You got to go on over and get the best value on your plays. That's what we do with the prop shop. Speaking of the prop shop, we now go to the prop god, who has something. This one, though, is in New Orleans and Miami. First of all, want to give a, best wishes to all the people in New Orleans. If you did not saw that there was a kind of attack there yesterday on Bourbon Street. And as a result of that, in the sports world, at least, the Georgia Notre Dame game that has been scheduled, the college football quarterfinals game that had been scheduled for tonight, has been pushed back to tomorrow so that they can make sure that everybody is safe, that this is not some kind of ripple effect or anything like that. So just so you know, the Sugar Bowl between Georgia and Notre Dame has been pushed back to tomorrow. We got Justin in the building saying, what's up to the fellas? What's going on, prop? Let's get your first play here. And it is New Orleans at Miami in South Beach tonight.
Yep. So I'm going to go with the DeJounte Murray over 14.5 rebounds and assists. You can get it at -102 on FanDuel. When I looked at Murray, this like coming into the season, I know he was hurt, and then I also took a little bit of time off of betting the NBA. My thought process was we were going to see that, the version of Murray that we saw in San Antonio for that 1.5-2 years, where he's getting, averaging close to triple doubles on a nightly basis, and then at least covering, I thought he would average over 8 assists a night. I put that future in. The injury sidetracked him, but I think he'll continue to get back and catch his stride. Looking at this matchup against the Heat, he's over this number in 4 out of 5 games out of the last 5, averaging 16.4 rebounds and assists. Looking at Miami, they're giving up the 4th most rebounds to opposing point guards and the 7th most assists. And as far as rebounds and assists, the combo, the Heat are allowing the 3rd most. So I think it's a great matchup for him. And I was kind of conflicted, right? Because I wanted to go with his assists. And then I saw the rebound numbers, and I wanted to go with his rebounds. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the combo, but I also like the double-double at +170. And I would sprinkle on a triple-double. Last time we did that, it was with Sabonis, and we won, So I'm thinking Murray is that guy at least for a double-double tonight.
All right, fair enough. I sprinkled on the Sabonis triple-double. I think it was Christmas night, and he had it, but with like 8 assists and just missed it. But, the triple-double is that nice payoff. So we just sprinkle that, but definitely the combo there of rebounds and assists, to be sure, could be something that you are into. All right, let's keep it going. Here we go back to Noops. Noops, I see that this one that you have, I checked the NBA prop tool over at FTN, and this is one of the highest edges of any prop on the board tonight. You're going to who I believe, and most people now will say, is the franchise in Philadelphia, as they are on the West Coast in Sacramento.
I couldn't agree more, Dana. As someone who's a huge Sixers fan, I'm looking to see where my hat is.
Yeah, you got your hat.
Threw it across my office, so it's probably on the other side somewhere. But things are getting better, and as someone who's a big Joel Embiid fan, I'd be fine if it was just Tyrese Maxey at this point. He is really just an absolute joy to watch. Now, part of that also might be because I'm also sitting in close proximity to about 125 Tyrese Maxey rookie cards, so fingers crossed this stuff works out. I just love the guy, the heart he has, what we saw in the playoffs, a lot of guys around him quitting, and you see that effort every single night, especially on the defensive end. He is someone that, you think about how great he is offensively, even though he still has kind of that little kid jump shot, a really good shooter, someone who uses his speed and gets to the basket, create for others, but defensively continues to get better. It's, again, one of my favorite things about any young player. What are you doing to improve yourself each season? And he has been really solid this year, especially creating turnovers, over 2+ steals in several of his games. I think his average is a little bit over that over the last month or so. Again, looking at the prop tool here for us at FTN, we've got him for over 2 steals, 2.5 basically. And one of my favorite things about the same game parlay tool, if you slide over to there, it'll tell you what we actually think the odds should be. We have this priced at -147. Now, -147 here, you're looking at a line of +150. You toss the number below. That's like an EV of almost 48%. That's insane. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you that obviously it's that big of an edge, but over time, this is going to be a really solid bet. I love this number. I would play this basically, honestly, +120, +125, even if it's that low. But there's +150s everywhere. So give me Tyrese Maxey, 2+ steals, +150.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if we're projecting it to be like almost minus 150, and it is in fact at the books plus 150, you talked about the EV there. That's literally changing a minus to a plus. So I like that one. And you're right. Tyrese Maxey is definitely the guy now for Philadelphia because Embiid just, refuses to be on the court for one reason or another. Earlier Prop gave you a Murray. I'm going to give you another Murray. Give me Jamal Murray over though in Denver against Atlanta. This one is at minus 135 over on Bet Rivers. I think Jamal Murray goes over 6.5 assists in this game. First of all, the total in this game, guys, is 246, by far the highest total on the board. So there is chances for buckets. And I also saw Jamal Murray recently say that sometimes the Denver Nuggets are too unselfish. To me, that reeks of more passing, more assists. The Denver Nuggets have 31.3 assists per game. That is the most in the NBA. All right. Murray averages 6.4 on the season, but he has been hot lately. All right. 10 or more assists in 3 of his last 6 games. He's had 6 or more assists in 5 of his last 7. And there's a reason that this game has a total of 246. It's because it is 2 of the fastest paced teams in the NBA. Denver is 5th in that category with 101 possessions per game, but they even might be sped up by the Atlanta Hawks, who are 3rd in pace with almost 104 possessions in a game. Atlanta also allows a ton of points, okay? Almost 119 points per game. That is 5th highest. They allow a ton of assists. You put that with the quote-unquote unselfish Denver Nuggets, and I think you have a recipe for points. I think you have a recipe for Jamal Murray finding other people, whether it's Jokic or if it's like Russell Westbrook, who has been out there and been good lately. And also in the last couple of games, Denver has been absolutely nuts. They're scoring 134 points a game over their last 3. Our models over at FTN have Jamal Murray for 7 assists in this game. So that is over the 6.5. You put it all together, I just basically think this game is going to have a ton of scoring in it, and Murray is going to find people, be diming them out. So I like Jamal Murray to get to at least 7 assists. That's minus 135 over at Bet Rivers. We got the people in the building. Listen, Free Sauce is telling me if there is a live show, I am in here. And by the way, to know when there are live shows, subscribe on the FTN YouTube channel, okay? This way you get a notification if it is popping off, because I know, for example, Prop, I, and our guy Sam Chowdhury, we're going to be on the NFL betting show tomorrow morning at 11:30, getting you ready for week 18 in the NFL season. So if you subscribe, if you like all that stuff, if you know when it is popping off, you can certainly get in the mix. We also got Quantez in the building. Shout out to the Prop God. Free Sauce.
Yo.
Also saying, Osor Thompson, with which one of the Thompson brothers is suspended. I don't know which one it is, I believe, right? For that frame that happened. It was Amen. All right, fair enough. And also says because there is no Amen, think about Dylan Brooks to potentially get 15 or more points in that game. But let's go back to you, Prop. You are also somewhere on this game, Nuggets and Hawks. You also like the environment, I think, for points. And I'm on Murray. You're on another member of Denver to be dishing it out as well.
Yeah, I've been speaking of being unselfish. I think Christian Braun, however you want to say it, falls right into that category. So we're going to go with the over 1.5 assists. We had 2 guards going over their assists, and I'm not mad at that at all. You spoke on the defensive numbers. You spoke on the total. Yeah. This goes hand in hand with that. So I play the baseline at 1.5 minus 140, but I'm not mad at taking up to 3, maybe 4 if you want to be a little on the wild side to start the new year. Looking at the matchup against shooting guards, the Hawks are giving up the 4th most assists per game. They're pretty much 5.23. Looking at the FTN props tool, we got him projected to just go over at I think about 2.2. So it doesn't like the latter, but it does like an over in this spot. And looking at Brown, he's over in 20 out of 30 games this season, so a 67% hit rate. He's averaging 2 assists per game. Over his last 6, he's got 5, 4, 3, 1, 3, and 2 as far as assists. So facilitating the ball at a good enough level. 3.6 assists per game. 3.6 potential assists per game on the season too. So he's playing 34 minutes a night. I think it's a great spot. You spoke on the pace, so I think this goes hand in hand with that.
All right, fair enough. We like points in Denver tonight. We like I said, I literally saw Jamal Murray talking about how sometimes they're too unselfish. So maybe that's even more assists out there. Let's go back for one more for each of us. Noops, we will start with you. I love it when you can get like a big man going under on the 3-pointers at plus money, and that's what you found here in Orlando and Detroit.
There's just something special and really fun about betting under a half. For sitting and just sweating out that zero for the entire game, it is just there's just an extra little sprinkle there. But above and beyond that, Wendell Carter Jr. under a half made three here. Again, we'll start with the model here at FTN. We've got it projected for only 0.37 threes. We're looking at here this under. Again, you go into the same game parlay tool. We price this under about minus 216. I mean, you go back and look, that number makes sense to me. And it hasn't made a three for this last 3 consecutive games. It's only shooting, basically 2 threes in games where he is kind of firing off here. Continues to see less minutes as Gogo Batadze kind of settles in as the starting center here for the Orlando Magic. There was a brief period when Mo Wagner went out. We saw him, again, try to shoot some more, but we're talking about somebody who's shooting 17, 18% from three for this year for a career, not a very good three-point shooter at all. And again, just the volume's not there. I look at this matchup against the Detroit Pistons. I don't even know if they're really going to need him that much. It's not like the Pistons have a big guy that's going to require Carter to be out there. And Carter offensively just doesn't seem to dominate some of the smaller guys here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we even see less minutes for Carter tonight. Maybe he attempts 1, maybe he attempts 2. He's not making any of them, so let's bet on it.
All right, I like that. Like you said, you will have to sweat it out the entire game, but you need something to watch maybe on a New Year's night. So I like that one as well. Let's go over to prop because prop, you and I are both in this Washington-Chicago game. This is a matchup of another 2 fast-paced teams and 2 of the worst defenses in the entire NBA. So I like, kind of trying to find some opportunities in this one. Prop, you're going with Jordan Poole in his threes, right?
Yes, indeed. A pool party to start the new year. Who will be against it, right? So over the 3.5 threes, we get some crazy value. He's hit at least 5 threes in 4 straight games. So I love when we taking streaky shooters while they're hot, So I want, continue to ride that wave of Poole. Last time he's seen the Bulls, he hit 4 threes. Looking at the matchup now, Poole he's listed as the point guard, but I don't look at him as like a true facilitator. Looking at just the head to head, and I'm sorry, but the matchup. If you look at point guards, the Bulls are allowing the 5th highest 3-point percentage. You look at shooting guards, then the Bulls are allowing the 2nd most made threes, pretty much 4 a night, and then the 3-point percentage is 11th worst, so middle of the pack. Just not defending the perimeter well against guards. Poole is shooting 40. Well, I think that was like close to 40% from 3 on the season. And what I love in matchups like this is you spoke on the defense is not going to be much of it, and then the pace is high. He's averaging. Oh, I just lost my note. Oh, here we go. He is taking 8.7, so almost 9 threes a night. He's got a game against the Bulls where he took 12, so I think the attempts will be there for Poole, and I just think it's a great spot for him.
All right, fair enough. Listen.
Oh, and also the prop tool, we have him at 3.7, so we got him going over as well.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, I like this. Free sauces in this saying against the Bulls, he dropped 4 earlier this season. He's taken 6 threes a game and hitting 40% of them. So listen, he might be doing well, but I need other guys on Washington to continue to brick shots because I am going with the big man in Chicago, Nikola Vucevic, to get over 10.5 rebounds in this one. And I think this is going to happen. Let me tell you why. You talked about the fast pace. We talked about the no defense, right? But this is a good matchup, I think, for Vucevic in terms of the rebounding environment. First of all, Washington only shoots 44% from the floor. So maybe Poole can hit some threes, but the rest of the Wizards, they do not shoot the rock that well. That field goal percentage is 28th in the NBA. Washington also allows 12.8 offensive rebounds against them per game. That is by far the most in the NBA. Vucevic has been good. He's had 13 rebounds in his last 2 games. He's had 10 or more rebounds in 5 of his last 6. I think you put it all together. The pace, the poor shooting, the fact that there's not really, kind of outside of Valanciunas, in my opinion, a big man that's going to be able to go up and down with Vucevic, and the offensive rebounds could be there as well. I'll also, again, point out the prop shop where some books at DK, it's minus 130, the over 10.5. Every other major book in the market has it at 11.5. All right. So go on over to the prop shop as well, because most books think it's going to be 11.5, maybe because he's had 13 the last 2 games. I think you can still go over 10.5. I'm not worried about the juice there at minus 130. I think this environment is going to be more opportunities, but because Washington can't shoot the rock that well, I think there will be rebounds aplenty for the big men in Chicago. So there you have it. We got, 3 plays from all of us out there. We got Maxim K in the building. Might as well look at the 25 plus for Hunter. If JJ is out, he's hit 4 of 6, even with JJ in. So, we're all out here trying to be in solidarity, giving you more and more ideas. Noobs, what you got going on the rest of the week here to start off the new year? Not only this stream, but I know you got some things cooking, Hoops with Noobs, and all sorts of other goodness here on the site.
No, absolutely. And just shout out to the guys in the chat. Love Free Sauce. Love Max and K. Those are some great guys. Everybody else in there. That's what we like. We love to hear the questions. We love to hear the ideas. Again, I like a lot of the stuff Free Sauce was talking about. That's a nice idea for Max and K. But always Hoops with Noobs. We got 4 written pieces a week. We roll out 1 video. Of course, we're here every Wednesday. And we're always looking at first touchdown scores. I don't care that it's week 18 and we're not sure what any of these games really mean. We're going to figure it out. We got Olamide Zacchaeus over this weekend and Xavier Worthy on Christmas. So we're trying to see if we can put this together. We've hit 2 in a row, and that's how the first thing you have to do to hit 3 in a row. I'd like to go 4, but 3 would be fine.
Listen, you got to inch it up the hill, man. You can't get to 4 if we don't get to 3. I like that. Yeah. I love
this. How in a row works.
I'm telling you, I love the Zacchaeus call. And Prop, I know we're going to be on the NFL betting show tomorrow, and you and I have been finding ways to try to bet Saquon Barkley and trying to find ways to bet against the Giants' run defense. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do either one because it came out today that Saquon is not going to be active. That's right, will not be active against the New York Football Giants. Maybe we could get a Kenny Gainwell or a Will Shipley, though. We'll see what happens on that one. But Prop, I'll be talking to you tomorrow. What else you got cooking this week?
To your note, though, with Gainwell, I think I bet on him 4 times this season. I've only lost once. I think that I will still take his longest rush and rushing yards against the Giants. He's a formidable backup. So I'll just go right back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about that more tomorrow because, by the way, I'm also going to be attacking the Carolina Panthers run defense. Bijan Robinson has been doing some things recently, but we'll talk about that tomorrow.
I just lost a fantasy championship because of Bijan, so I don't want to hear his name right now. So
okay, I apologize. Listen, there's been a lot.
Sorry to trigger you.
I lost a couple as well, but we move on and we still get cash in the new year. What you got cooking, Prop?
So no articles this week as far as the route tree and playbook because the games don't matter for a lot of teams. So no need to really force it with plays. Really want to teach discipline to the community when it comes to spots like this. So we have the football betting show tomorrow. Then after that, it's pretty much nothing except for Sunday Night Football. I'm going to scream that because it's an important game for the NFC.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's about it for the week. Just really about to focus in on NBA content now.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, listen, we'll be holding you down with the NFL show even throughout the playoffs. But to Prop's point, listen, there's a lot of teams that know where they are resting their starters. Kansas City's resting the starters. You hear about Philadelphia as well. Josh Allen is going to be in there for like 1 series just to start his consecutive game streak going. But that's why I'm going to be focused on teams that are playing for things like what Joe Burrow is doing recently for the Cincinnati Bengals and what he needs to do. Like I said, Tampa Bay and Atlanta in the NFC South, what they need to do. Mike Evans needs only 85 yards to once again for the 11th year in a row go over 1,000 yards receiving. We'll see if he can get that in an interesting matchup. And I know Prop and I will be talking about it tomorrow. So remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. So then tomorrow when we're on the NFL betting show at 11:30 Eastern, you can get notified and you can join the party. But for my man Prop, for my man Noobs, I am merely the spitting statistician Dane Martinez telling you, get those bets in now before the numbers move. And be sure to always check the prop shop here over at FTN to get the best number. It's another edition of the NBA betting show in the books. Happy New Year to everybody. We'll see you back here next week, next Wednesday at 4 o'clock to keep on building that balance. We out of here. Peace.